Hey guys, we just appreciate having your 10 years of experience and knowledge in marriage right now. This may not be something that you guys have had to deal with in relationships, but this can sometimes be a destroyer for relationships. Infidelity, adultery. So a lot of couples, as we talk to them, especially in premarital situations, we ask them the question, what could happen in your marriage that could destroy your marriage? Okay. And people say, I have unconditional love, nothing would ever change that. But then wham, something unexpected occurs. Talk to us, even if it's friends that you know that have been through that. How does infidelity affect a relationship?
I think it really kills the trust. I think that's the big part. I know a lot of people will, they say, I forgive the infidelity or we can make it through, but then that lingering trust issue is always back there, and it comes up with different things that affects, even small things. You maybe at the barbershop or something, like, what's taking you so long? So that's always, from what I hear, it's in the back of the mind. So I think it really just kills the trust in it.
Yeah, I would say the same thing. The trust. I would say little stuff or even triggers that you might think like, oh, that didn't, I'll forgive it and I'll move past it. We're good, but it could be like little triggers, like she said, the barbershop, or it's like, oh,
why you
on your phone?
So
Why you on your phone?
Right,
Who you talking to, or
right.
whatever. And so it's just one of those aspects of, just kind of replaying though. It's that human nature, and it's that that almost that doubt, like, okay. What caused the infidelity? Why, was I not good enough? Or, what was I missing? Was I not emotionally supportive? Was I not sexually, meeting your needs? What put you in the aspect of, you felt like I need to go out and find happiness outside of my marriage?
Well, and I'm glad you even put it that way, because a lot of times we even tell people, and sometimes we think that it's something that's not happening inside the relationship, but a lot of times we find out too that it's something that's not happening inside of us, that we tend to want to blame somebody else, because we will never justify, or adultery or infidelity should never be justified. But a lot of times we find that there's a deficiency that we have in ourselves, that we're trying to seek something someplace else. So I'm glad that you guys have talked about that. But we know that we see a lot of young couples today that they have seen multiple relationships they've had with other people prior to getting married. They've seen cheating before they got married one another, but they still decide to walk down that road. So how do you think that younger marriages can make it through, even if something like that happens?
I can say we did it. Like, it was mistakes that happened, before we got married. And I felt like, it was, just deciding, okay, are we going to push through the mistakes together? Are we going to do necessarily the work to get past those, to get past it? Or are we just going to say, okay, that was it. That was, that's it. We're done. So I feel like, it's going to take the work. It's going to take the decision. It's going to take, standing with each other and just decide how we're going to push forward. Prior to it, it's one of those things like, as a man, you'd be like, oh, cheating, no question. Women say it all the time. I could get over it one time, or I might not do it again. Some people say it's over. But it's just deciding, okay, you made that mistake. Let's understand why that mistake happened, or, what were you doing? What was missing? Are we together? Are we not going to be together? And then are we going to put in the work? Are you honestly going to put in the work to make sure that this never happens again?
Well, one of the things that we're very transparent about is that it happened with us. Okay. And people say, oh my God, you guys are ahead of a couple's ministry. Well, I mean, because of the fact of the transparency that we've had with other people, that's the reason why I think that we've been able to meet and minister to other people, because of the fact that we don't try to play this church game. And I think that that's what happens in the body of Christ, is that we play this game like stuff doesn't really or can never happen to us. Because that even Patrice would probably tell you that what made it through, she asked me a question. I remember that question. She says, well, can you guarantee that it will never happen again? And I said to her at that time, and this was like almost 40 something years ago, I said, I can't. I said, I can't guarantee. I said, a guarantee means that it will never, ever happen again. But I said that I can try to put the guards around whatever that was to make sure that it tries not to happen again. So I think that we have to stop playing that game with ourselves and with one another, because it does hurt the other person. I think you said whether or not it's triggers, whether or not it doesn't, because now let's just be real.
Yeah.
It just doesn't happen with men these days.
Yeah.
Okay, because wives go in and they have relationships outside of the house as well too.
Barack is
So-
already married to Michelle, and I know Michelle would beat me up.
Well, I'm much better. I may not be president, but I am definitely king in my house. So, that's all I'm going to say, But I thank you guys for being